Well, I decided to build a little custom thing here. Looking as we are at the, I gotta hold this stupid tablet. Looking as we are at the drawing here, this is the 7-pin that goes inside the housing that you pull in and plug in for your trailer lights, back of your truck, car, whatever. This up in here is where the screw goes in and holds it in. There's where the screw goes in right there. You can see the hole through there. So we're going to signify this by that. Immediately to the left of that screw is the positive battery terminal, provided it's hooked up in the front by your relay battery pack. This is what I've done, is I've taken a connector, slide it under the screws here, and I've got a positive and a negative denoted as red and black. Well, they would sit in this position here. So there's the big notch on the bottom, and there's the little area where the screw goes in and holds this together. Okay, so we have what would normally be running lights here. See the RL, running lights. Left turn. This is backwards, remind you, because we're looking at the goes into part. This is the part that goes into the jack. And this is the right turn. Is your trailer brakes down here where my thumb is. And in the center is your backup lights. So this is just a simple thing, but it can kind of save your bottom, because occasionally we want to put a charger on our vehicle and be a little inconspicuous about it. Or in the case of my vehicle, since it's an ex-CHP vehicle, what I've done to all my chargers is I've converted them to these type of plugs. And I really like these. They're kind of waterproof. I wouldn't depend on them in your bathtub, but they do keep things clean. And you got pins in there. Now, on these pins, I tend to solder mine in, and I have another assortment of them here. Let me see if I can get to them here real easily. Over here in this box, which I'm digging out now. And got too much stuff in this drawer for sure. These are larger versions of the same thing. These are for winches and stuff. You get these connectors here. These are for some seriously large wires. But what I do is I mount them in my little vise. I point this cup end up. I heat it up. I pull about 1/3 of the way up with solder. Dip the wire in. Strip the wire. Bear it back about, well, in this case, about 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch. But the other ones over here, these don't take as much of a tinning. You go ahead and dip them in flux, and dip them in the molten solder, hold it in position, take the heat off, and you got a nice connection that you can remove later. If you crimp them down, they're committed. So unless you want to be committed, I recommend soldering them in. Anyway, these are pretty neat. I buy them on Amazon. If you buy them from the company that invented them, they're very expensive. I think they are anyway. I think a little silly pricing. Anyway, that then goes to my vehicle on one end. I'll put this together later into the sheath, into the holder, and this goes to my chargers. Now I have standardized my charger to accept that wiring, and here he is right over here. So this is the other end of the wiring, and here it is right here, and this goes up to one of my chargers up there, sitting up there, and they plug together. Kind of dark. There we go. Get some light on it now, and it's got this protective cap that goes on it. Now, one thing I've done on my Isuzu, which is notorious for leaving me with a dead battery, is I have gone out here. Pardon me, we're doing some leaf springs on a truck here, and here's one of them. And what I've done is I've placed one of these connectors up here, which you may be able to see. There it is right there. And it just hangs right there. But I can also charge through my trailer jack, my trailer pins. I set that up so I can do it on any of my vehicles. And they're all wired pretty much the same. So just a little quickie in case you want to save some time and be able to charge your vehicle from the back. So the wires going up to the front are probably right around 10 gauge. So that should be useful for charging a battery to your vehicle. Anyway, that's it. I'm done with this idea. 6 minutes in, a little 6-minute video. Bye-bye.